In this movie, I'll show you how to install my custom dekeKeys keyboard shortcuts in Illustrator running on the Mac. If you're working on the PC and you already watched the previous movie, then go ahead and skip to the next one. And the great thing about dekeKeys, if I do say so myself, is that it provides you access to more than 100 new and revamped keyboard shortcuts that will help you move through Illustrator that much more quickly. Now notice here inside the 31 settings folder, we have two files that end in a .kys extension, one for the Mac and one for Windows. Obviously, you want the Macintosh version, but you need to install it in a very specific location on your hard drive, as documented by this file right here. And so I'll go ahead and open this guy inside Illustrator, and notice that we have two bullet items. The first explains how to install dekeKeys on the PC. The second explains how to install dekeKeys on the Mac. Now, even though it's not obvious, the 2019 edition of Illustrator CC is actually Illustrator version 23, making it one of the longest-running, continuously updating pieces of software on the planet. And in case you're wondering how the various version numbers shake out, I'll go ahead and press Shift page down to advance to the next artboard so that you can see that CC 2018 was 22, 2017 was version 21, 2015.3 was version 20. Going down to the first version of Illustrator CC, which came out in the year 2013, even though that wasn't part of its name, that was version number 17, by the way, and then we drift down into the old CS versions. And the reason that this type goes from blue to black was because CS4 was the first version that allowed you to assign custom keyboard shortcuts here inside Illustrator. And if you want to just confirm what version of Illustrator you're working with, then go up to the Illustrator menu right here and choose About Illustrator, and that'll bring up this screen. And you want to note the number before the dots. The numbers after the dots don't matter. In my case, it's 23, but if you're seeing 22 or 21 or what have you, then you're going to need to enter that number in the following path string. All right, so I'll just go ahead and press the Escape key in order to dismiss that message, and I'll press Shift page up in order to advance to the first artboard, and then I'll grab the Type tool, which you can get by pressing the T key. Now you can go ahead and read these instructions if you want to, but I'm going to work through these very steps in just a moment. And so if you're working along with me, all you need to do is select this blue text right here all the way up to, but not including the comma. So just select that blue text and then go up to the Edit menu and choose the Copy command, or you have that keyboard shortcut of Command C. All right, now I'll go ahead and press the Escape key in order to return control to the black arrow tool, and I'll click off the text to deselect it. And then I'll go up to the Illustrator menu and choose Hide Illustrator. And now what you want to do is go up to the File menu and choose New Finder window, or you have a shortcut of Command N, and that'll bring up this guy right here. I'm going to go ahead and switch to the list view like so. And then you want to go up here to the Go menu and choose Home. And that'll take you to your home folder, which is presumably named after you. And next, you want to return to the Go menu, and this time choose Go To Folder in order to bring up this lone field. Now you want to go up to the Edit menu and choose the Paste command, or you've got a keyboard shortcut of Command V, and that'll go ahead and paste in that path string that you selected just a moment ago. Then go ahead and click the Go button in order to switch to this folder right here, which is going to contain a bunch of junk, including possibly any custom keyboard shortcuts that you may have created in the past. And as you may recall, this is the file I created back in Chapter 11 of the Fundamentals course, which is where I changed the shortcuts for the blob brush, the eraser tool, and so on. All right, you don't need to worry about that, though. We're not going to replace it. We're just going to copy a new keyboard shortcuts file by switching back to this guy right here, and then you want to drag this Mac file into that folder that you just opened, and then in order to copy it, instead of move the file, go ahead and press the Option key, at which point you'll see a green plus sign, and then release, and you'll copy that file like so, and that way you still have the original in case you want to come back to it in the future. All right, now I'll go ahead and double-click on that installation file to once again bring up Illustrator. And then I'll go up to the Edit menu and choose the Keyboard Shortcuts command, which itself has the shortcut of Master Fist K, that is Command-Shift-Option-K, and that'll bring up this dialog box right here. Now, your set may read Illustrator Defaults or whatever custom keyboard shortcuts you've created in the past. You want to switch it to this guy right here, dekeKeys Illustrator Mac 2019. And now, just to make sure everything's working the way it should, go ahead and switch from Tools to Menu Commands, and then twirl open the Type menu right here, and you should see that we can now bring up the very useful Glyphs panel by pressing the shortcut Command-Shift-Option-G, at which point I'll click OK to accept that change. All right, now let's review a couple of the new shortcuts by going up to the Window menu, and notice this guy right here, New Window, has a shortcut of Command-Shift-Option-N. And so I'll go ahead and take advantage of it by pressing Command-Shift-Option-N like so, and I end up with a new window into that exact same document, and I can tell that I have two windows because one of the titles ends with a 1 and the other title ends with a 2, which means that I can change the way in which I'm viewing this window by going up to the View menu and choosing the Outline command. And then I'll just go ahead and zoom in on the word installing right here. And now let's say I want to be able to see both of my windows at the same time. Then I'd click on this icon, the one that reads Arrange Documents, and I'd switch to the vertical 2-up display, at which point I'm now seeing the second view over here on the left, and I'm seeing the first view over here on the right. And the great thing now is that I can make a change to either one of these views, and because they're both the same document, they'll both update in kind. And now I'll go ahead and switch over to the Type tool once again, and I'll select the word install and change it to an entirely different word. And you can see that that text updates in both windows into that same document. All right, now I'll go ahead and once again press the Escape key to accept that change. And let's say at this point, I want to consolidate both of my views into a single window. Then I could click on that Arrange Documents icon once again and choose this guy, Consolidate All. But if you loaded dekeys, you now have a keyboard shortcut, which is Command-Shift-Option-0. So mash your fist on all the modifier keys along with the 0 key, and you're going to go ahead and consolidate both the views like so. And that's how you install my custom dekeys, which provides you with more than 100 new and revamped keyboard shortcuts. To see exactly what they are, stay tuned for the following movie.